In 1973, the CIA ordered the destruction of thousands of documents connected to one of the most secretive programs in its history. Files were shredded, burned, and erased from official records in an effort to ensure the public never discovered what had happened. For years, it appeared the operation had worked. Then investigators uncovered a collection of surviving documents that had been misplaced in a separate archive. What those records revealed exposed one of the most controversial government programs ever uncovered. The project was called MKUltra. Created during the height of the Cold War, MKUltra emerged from growing fears inside American intelligence circles that rival nations might be developing advanced interrogation and brainwashing techniques. Reports of prisoners allegedly being manipulated during conflicts overseas convinced some officials that psychological warfare could become one of the most powerful weapons of the modern age. The CIA feared it was falling behind, and in 1953 Director Allen Dulles approved a program designed to explore whether the human mind could be influenced, altered, or even controlled. The project investigated a wide range of techniques, including hypnosis, sensory deprivation, psychological manipulation, and experimental drugs. One substance quickly became the focus of the program: LSD. At the time, very little was understood about its effects, and some researchers believed it could weaken psychological defenses or influence behavior in ways that might prove useful during interrogations. The CIA became determined to test its potential, often without the knowledge of the people involved. One of the most infamous parts of MKUltra became known as Operation Midnight Climax. In New York and San Francisco, the CIA rented apartments and transformed them into covert observation sites. Sex workers were paid to bring unsuspecting men back to these locations, where the victims were secretly given LSD. Hidden behind one-way mirrors, CIA operatives observed and documented their reactions while the subjects believed they were simply spending an ordinary evening. The operation ran for years and became one of the most controversial examples of experimentation without consent. As MKUltra expanded, it grew into a network of roughly 150 separate subprojects spread across universities, hospitals, prisons, pharmaceutical companies, and research institutions throughout North America. Some organizations knowingly participated, while others received funding through front groups and had no idea the CIA was involved. Researchers explored how people responded to powerful drugs, prolonged isolation, hypnosis, sensory deprivation, and other forms of psychological stress, all in pursuit of understanding how human behavior could be influenced. Among the most controversial figures connected to the program was Canadian psychiatrist Dr. Ewen Cameron. Through CIA-linked funding, Cameron experimented with what he called psychic driving, a process intended to break down and reshape a person's personality. Patients were subjected to heavy sedation, repeated audio messages, and aggressive treatment methods that often left lasting psychological effects. Many had entered treatment seeking help for ordinary mental health conditions, only to leave with severe memory loss and long-term cognitive damage. Another case that became closely associated with MKUltra involved CIA scientist Frank Olson. In 1953, Olson attended a government retreat where he was unknowingly given LSD as part of an internal experiment. According to reports, he experienced significant psychological distress in the days that followed. 9 days later, he fell from a hotel window in New York City and died. Although the death was officially ruled a suicide, questions surrounding the circumstances have persisted for decades, making it one of the most debated incidents linked to the program. For more than 20 years, MKUltra operated largely in secret. As public trust in government institutions declined during the 1970s, intelligence agencies came under increasing scrutiny. In response, CIA Director Richard Helms ordered the destruction of MKUltra records in 1973. Thousands of files vanished, removing much of the evidence investigators might later have used to understand the full scope of the project. Had that effort succeeded completely, MKUltra might have remained hidden forever. But in 1977, approximately 20,000 surviving documents were discovered after being misfiled in a separate financial archive. The records triggered congressional investigations and confirmed that MKUltra was not a conspiracy theory, but a real government program that had operated for more than 2 decades. Public hearings revealed details about secret experiments, hidden funding arrangements, and research conducted without meaningful oversight. The investigations confirmed that real people had been subjected to experiments without their consent. Yet despite the public outrage that followed, accountability remained limited. Few individuals faced serious consequences, and many victims spent decades seeking answers about what had happened to them. The CIA tried to erase MKUltra from history, and it almost succeeded. The only reason we know about the program today is because a small collection of forgotten documents survived when everything else was meant to disappear. What survived was disturbing enough. What was destroyed may be the part of the story we never get to hear. Subscribe to Warped Living for more real mysteries, forgotten history, and true stories stranger than fiction. Because the deeper you look into the past, the darker it becomes.